Cardano is an absolute ghost chain. The apps are nothing but vaporware, and their founder, Charles Hoskinson, he's toxic. Nobody actually uses this chain. The price is simply the product of heavy manipulation by insiders. I don't actually believe all that, but there's a lot of negative sentiment surrounding Cardano, and I get it. Their community is really difficult to talk to. I used to use Cardano all the time. I was an early adopter. I was one of the first people probably to ever hold the token, but I haven't been over there in a while to actually use what's on the chain. So, to be fair, I plan to run through some of their applications in this video, give my honest opinion as an outsider now, no longer a Cardano power user, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe there are some really good apps over there that people are overlooking, and that's why you clicked on this video. Hope you enjoy. Welcome everybody, Joe here for Dead Cat Crypto. Thanks for stopping by the channel, and thanks to all the Cardano people who may have clicked on this video. I was deep into the Cardano ecosystem early on. I was holding the token since 2017. I bought it on the Bittrex exchange. What is that, 2 cycles ago now? And for all of its faults, Cardano is one of the OG proof of stake networks. They've been around for a while. They have survived multiple market cycles, which, you know, is not the case for lots of different cryptos that are out there. I haven't used the chain in quite some time. So in this video, I'm going to kind of onboard like a new user would. I'm going to explore a little bit, give my fair evaluation and maybe some constructive criticism. I'm probably going to be pleasantly surprised in some areas, but also frustrated in others. So you'll get a raw reaction here. And remember, this is the channel for all things crypto as it relates to the end user. And that's the position that I take when I make all of my content. Let's get started with some wallets. Before I started recording, I did load my seed words into 2 different wallets. And these were, I asked the community for a recommendation. I got a recommendation to test out Eternal and the Vesper wallet. Here's the Eternal wallet. I have used this before and I was really unhappy with it. Why? There's just way too much going on. I can pull up multiple accounts here. In other words, each account is associated with different seed words. I do like that. What do I not like? This is not beginner friendly at all. Here is the Vesper wallet. This looks a lot more similar to what I would want to use if I was a new person. I can see all my tokens right away. I see my ADA balance. And of course, I get to scroll through my wonderful collection of tokens. Probably all of them are worthless, but it's been a while, so maybe I'll be surprised when I look up some of these. But side by side, this is what the 2 wallets look like. Eternal wallet, I'm sorry, you completely missed the mark for me. I would never want to use something like that. I would never recommend to someone in my family to, hey, you bought ADA tokens for the first time? Cool, download Eternal wallet. No, I would never recommend that. Vesper looks more like a good beginner wallet. Eternal wallet, if you've been using it all along, I'm sure you love it, but there's a lot of pain points here, especially this one. I could see my total funds. I could see my balance. I could see my rewards. Great. What I don't like is these locked tokens. Locked for what? I thought Cardano has the best technology, UTXO, we're just like Bitcoin. Why are tokens getting locked in the wallet just because I have NFTs? To me, this is basically like having tokens lost, but I could see my fungible tokens here. These are the native assets. I could see my NFTs here. I could even search. The search feature is not so great, but that's probably based on the names of the actual NFTs. Over here at a glance, I don't see how Vesper wallet manages my NFTs. I probably have to go to the NFT platform to view them. Just a major difference between the 2. But again, if I'm dealing with NFTs, I have to account for the fact that it's going to lock up some of my tokens, my ADA tokens, and I just don't like that. I don't see the reason for it. It's not user friendly, and hopefully the same thing is not happening over here on Vesper and they're just not showing it. We're going to find out. But let's not spend too much time on the wallet. If I was you and you were going to test this out, download Vesper. Don't go near Eternal wallet. Here's tap tools. You could look at the whole ecosystem at a glance. I can even connect my wallet, which I'm not going to do here in this video. Looks kind of like Dex Screener. It's cool with me. You got SNEC, that's the number one meme token. You got World Mobile token, I believe this is. It's their number one DeFi, DPIN, let's call it DPIN native asset. And then a couple of stable coins in IUSDC and DJED. And you could see the MIN token for MinSwap DEX is the number one DeFi token, followed by Indy. It's Indigo Synthetics platform. Let's look at some more analytics pages before we hit the apps. Here's Alethea. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, but at a glance, you could see what's going on in the ecosystem. You could see what's trending, biggest movers. This looks like a CoinGecko, but focused on the Cardano ecosystem. I love these analytics pages. I like to make informed decisions as I'm following different projects. And then finally, we've got this dApps on Cardano page where you could see the actual applications and I guess their usage, their volume. Yeah, number of transactions. I like this. MinSwap, like I mentioned before, is the number one DeFi app. Then you've got JPEG Store. Cardano, as far as I remember, had a massive NFT following. It's not quite like that anymore, but JPEG Store is number two according to this. And then we got Liquid Finance, which is a lending borrowing app. And then so here is MinSwap. It looks like your typical V2 DEX, your AMM. This is where you would trade tokens. I'm going to connect my wallet here. Remember, I've got multiple accounts loaded up in the browser. Let's go with Vesper first. And just to look at their numbers, they have processed over 5 million trades. There's 100 million or so in TVL. That's in ADA. ADA is about $1. So this is about 100 to 115 million US dollars. And they've got 221 active traders. Don't know how they measure that. I tend to not believe daily active wallets are the same thing as daily active users, but that's just me. But I'm going to do a trade. What I remember about Cardano is it was very clunky, took a long time to process trades. And I remember the fees were actually insane on Cardano. Cardano is probably the second most expensive blockchain. At least that's how I remember it. But let's see what I've got. I want to swap some of my native assets back into ADA. I've got greens. I don't know why I have this, but it's worth about $13 in ADA. So let's swap this. My Vesper wallet is popping up. I'm getting a message here to approve it. And it's telling me that there's a 4 ADA fee. It's kind of a lot. So already I don't like this. I'm doing a simple swap for $13 and they're going to charge me a $4 fee to swap $13. That's a 25% transaction fee at least, more like 30%. No, I'm used to transacting on Solana or Base or in the Cosmos ecosystem where I can do trades for 100th of that or less in Solana's case. So already as an end user, I'm turned off by the fee. And I don't think the fee is related to the blockchain. I think the blockchain is only charging me about 0.2 or 0.15 ADA to process a transaction. This is the DEX taking a massive fee from users, even for small transactions. I don't like it. I would not use this DEX. I bounced over to MinSwap's competitor, Sunday Swap. I remember a couple years ago, I had very bad experiences with not the app, but their Discord, their community manager, their team, because they wouldn't answer simple questions about their token. And I thought that their token was a scam. I guess if you look at the chart, it will tell you all you need to know. But this is a heavily subsidized application. They work off of grants from the ecosystem, so maybe their fees will be lower. Let's see. Nice, simple swap page. This is what I like. Every DEX should try to look like Uniswap V2, in my opinion, to make it inviting to new users. And already I see that I could set limit orders, which I absolutely love. I'd rather use limit orders. And I'm going to try to do the same exact swap. And already here, I see I'm going to get hit with really high price impact. So it looks like the liquidity for this token isn't on Sunday swap, but let's just see what would happen if I put it in. They're going to charge me 2.7 ADA, which is about $2.70. Then they're saying there's a processing fee of $2.50, a deposit of $2. I'm doing an $8 swap, and it looks like I'm getting a receipt from a Airbnb stay. No, I would not use this DEX either. Let's look at one of their aggregators before I just get frustrated and I just leave this ecosystem completely. But yeah, no. Higher fees are not going to be good for new users, and they're not going to be good for people like me who just want to do a really small swap. Here's ADA.markets. This is a DEX aggregator, hoping they could find me the best price for my swap. What's interesting here is I get the option to connect MetaMask. That is a great feature for the ecosystem. MetaMask is the #1 wallet, unless Phantom has overtaken it at some point. You can't only offer ecosystem native wallets to your users, and I could see down here the OKX wallet is also an option. This is actually really good for a new user. Come straight to the aggregator, it looks like. And by the way, I'm someone who thinks that new users or beginners in DeFi should never be using a DEX directly. They should be using aggregators and modified front ends fit for beginners to simplify the whole process, and then it should be tapping DEX liquidity underneath. Connect. There we go. It only took 19 clicks. Hey, this is good old DeFi like I remember it from 5 years ago. It should be easier than this, but I'm going to give it a shot. I want to get rid of this greens token. I don't even know why I have it. And let's see, finding best route. Yes, the best route looks like MinSwap. I want to sell 100% on MinSwap. It's giving me that same price roughly. I want to see the swap details though. So it's saying batcher fees 2 ADA, refundable deposit 2 ADA. Oh my God. Fetch, which is the service, is not taking any. I don't know, guys. This is not making much business sense to me. But it says minimum receive 13 ADA. Okay, because it's saying minimum received 13 ADA. All right. A fetch fee. Now it's showing a fee of 3.5 ADA. Cardano community, the fees are way too high. They are way too high. But I'm going to have to pay it because I don't want this token in my wallet. I'm getting murdered here on fees. So I got 117 bucks. I literally don't know what just happened, but my balance went down by about $22. Maybe it's just taking a while to go through. I'm glad I recorded this because no one's going to believe how hard it was to do this swap. I don't know what happens. It looks like I just lost 20 bucks. Okay, here's some assurance that my balance is not final. It took 13 or so of this greens token out of my wallet. It also took almost 8 ADA, which is more than 50% of the swap out of my wallet. I don't know if this is due to the UTXO design, but man, this is just not DeFi in 2025. I'm sorry. This is a long transaction. This is longer than ETH and might be more expensive than ETH. I did swaps on ETH the other day for like $2-3 and the amount was in the thousands. I had 117 bucks. Now I got 96. My wallet's sinking. Here we go. This is really not fast at all. Jeez. This is kind of how I remember it though. Got to be patient. Got to be patient. It's like an old person crossing the street. That's Cardano. Now it says I got 1528 ADA back. So I did the swap. I did the swap, and it was a $13 swap, and it looks like it cost me $6. I'll let you draw your own conclusions there. Let's go on to some different apps. Here's JPEG Store, and this is the NFT Marketplace. I've used this many times. I like the analytics that come up right away, recent activity, yada yada, all these drops, great. I connected my Eternal wallet, and it's showing that I only have 3 ADA in there because of all the tokens that are locked up. But the wallet is showing that I have 5 ADA available and 47 locked. So in other words, I have like $50 that I can't access in my wallet. This is not a great situation here. I don't know how anyone can defend this at all, but let's give it a fair shot. Let's play with the marketplace. I just went to this website recommended by someone on X, on Fracket. It's supposed to optimize your wallet, minimize the amount of errors. I don't know why there would still be errors years later, but I do remember lots of errors dealing with Cardano. It's one of the reasons why I stopped using it. But they're going to go through my UTXOs, which I absolutely despise when it comes to DeFi and NFTs. Maybe it's great on Bitcoin. It is not great for a smart contract platform, but it's not my place to comment, I guess. And it's doing some work in the background trying to optimize my wallet. In the meantime, we'll look at JPEG Store. Wow, times have really changed. It used to be like Space Buds #1, Dead Pixels #2, the Ape Society #3, Equine. I have a bunch of those. And what's the floor? The floor's $60. Man, this collection just fell from the sky here. This used to be like such a blue chip, and it's just nothing now. Man, oh man, I definitely paid a couple $100 for some of my horses. Cornucopias, this project had just had mint after mint after mint. I'm not sure what they're doing with their project, but it was supposed to be like kind of like a gaming metaverse type thing, if I remember correctly. Here's Space Buds. This was where the art was stolen from multiple other artists, and it's still in the top 10, so good for them. Ape Society, which has migrated off the chain, is still at a $600 floor price. That's pretty good. It tells you all you need to know about how good Ape Society is working. You could actually buy the NFT here, migrate it over to Base, and kind of join that community that way. Got Jelly Cubes. So Jelly Cubes' founder put together a nice video that I was able to show at NFT Nashville, and hopefully some people who saw that video came to check out the collection here. I remember a time when the volumes on these Cardano NFTs were in the hundreds of thousands of dollars per 24 hours. They were just white hot for a long time. Looks like this Unfracket is just having trouble. Man, it takes forever for transactions to go through, but I need something to happen because I can't accept the $50 stuck in my wallet. I should be spending that on chain, buying NFTs, doing swaps, paying fees, and generating economic activity on Cardano. It's not what's happening. This is kind of how I remember it a couple of years ago when I left, like 2-3 years ago. So here's a lending protocol called Fluid Tokens. I don't know anything about this. I've only heard about it. It was recommended to me on X. I guess it's a decent UI, nice and clean. It says Fluid Tokens, permissionless lending. So looks like I could lend certain assets, and what do I get in return? Well, this is ordinals. I like this. I see. So there's a Bitcoin or Cardano option. If I'm choosing Bitcoin, I could connect with these ordinal wallets here. Unistat, Xverse, all that. I like this. Or I can go to Cardano. But let's see what I could actually lend on Cardano. What are the markets here? So there's an NFT lending. I see. Okay, cool. So Space Buds, the stolen art collection that still maintains a pretty high floor price on Cardano and some decent volume, you can lend these out. And then what do you get in return? Oh, you could borrow it. I don't see the advantage to borrowing an NFT. Lending an NFT, I get. Someone could hold it as collateral, and if you default, they keep your NFT. Why would I borrow one? I guess it's not for me, but there is probably use for this. I wonder if I could see the volume that runs through here. Let's connect my wallet. I'll connect Vesper. They've got their own token, this FLDD token that you can stake, but I don't see any information about the token anywhere. One of the criticisms I do have about Cardano in general is that most of these apps are selling tokens. They're not really focused too much on the UI or, you know, keeping the fees low. They're issuing their own token. That's always been the case. I click this custom loan drop down. I want to see what this is all about. One thing that I like is it's very clean, right? Obviously, it's got a Bitcoin integration. I love that. Projects that are avoiding integrations with Bitcoin, I think you have very little chance to succeed in the long run. But I don't see instructions here. If I'm new, how do I know what to do? Someone's requesting 3,900 ADA, and I can lend it to them for a 99 ADA profit. Then $11 goes to the platform. The platform fee comes out of the interest, and it's a short turnaround. I don't see what the risks are here, and I'd be worried about the risk. I'm going to give a stranger 3,900. Is this controlled by a smart contract? Is this centrally controlled by the platform itself and kind of managed? These are questions that I would like answered right here on the UI. But nonetheless, this is an interesting app because it's giving liquidity to otherwise illiquid assets like NFTs and ordinals. I do want to go to Indigo Protocol before we end this video. And let's launch it. Tokenize everything. So it's an RWA platform, it looks like. And we've got these synthetic ETH tokens. We've got these synthetic, these stable coins. And there's a lot going on here. Let me shrink this down. I need something easier on the eyes. So we got I assets. So these look like the derivatives issued by the platform. I can swap right on here, which I like. So there must be liquidity pools somewhere unless I'm minting new assets from the platform. Okay. And then they have some transparent data here for the DAO. So I'm guessing their token is the DAO token, and you could join the DAO and benefit somehow from holding or staking that token or providing liquidity. I'll connect Vesper Wallet. Let's check it out. Let's give it a chance. On the dashboard, they're showing they've got about 100 million in ADA locked. And their liquidity, I guess their liquidity doesn't exist on the platform itself, but they have pools on the various dexes that they tap. That's cool. I don't want to really deal with a dex. I want to use a front end that's catered to me. And I don't really want to experience the jumping from dex to dex looking for the best price. So we're looking at this iETH, this derivative of ETH, and you could mint it on the platform. I guess my main question for any real world asset platform is, how can you guarantee that the assets exist? Or are these algorithmic, kind of like just algorithmically priced, and the assets don't really exist, but you're buying a derivative that kind of tracks the price? I think those are a little bit riskier, but I'm not saying that's what this is. I don't see the way in which the underlying assets are accounted for, if that makes sense. In other words, if I have ADA, I'm on the Cardano blockchain, and I want to mint this Ethereum derivative, where's the ETH? Why am I giving my Cardano, my beautiful, pristine L1 asset, to a protocol just for this derivative that they can mint out of thin air, and then the ETH doesn't actually exist underneath? That would be my only concern here. These little pop-ups are extremely helpful. And it looks like they've issued their own assets to the tune of about $15 million. And the rest of the TVL is mostly this CDP collateral. And that's the ADA that's locked in the protocol. So I will say this. In order for like a true bull run, and I'll go to the big screen. In order for like a true bull run, you need incentive, or you need a reason for people to buy your token. And for ADA, this is the platform where you would buy ADA and you would deposit it into a smart contract, it looks like, and that ADA gets locked up while you get some kind of derivative to go yield farming or lend it out or do something else with it. That's fine. That's like the beginning of a flywheel for me, where there's some demand for ADA tokens. Cardano needs way more applications like this, right? Indigo is providing a very specific kind of niche RWA platform where you can get a derivative of Solana, you can get a stablecoin, you can get a derivative of ETH and not much else. That's fine. Those are the main assets anyway for DeFi. Those are the three heavy hitters. So what can be done here by Cardano to send more traffic to apps like Indigo? Compared to Ethereum, Cardano is cheaper and the speed is comparable for transactions. It's comparable. For swaps, the DEXs are taking a huge cut of the swaps. That's not indicative of how expensive the blockchain is. The blockchain looks like it's only taking about 20 cents, 0.17 ADA. And I think that's a high enough fee to prevent heavy wash trading on the platform. It's also high enough that microtransactions might not be worth it on Cardano to do in all cases, but it's also low enough that people are just going to do what they want to do on Cardano and not have to be, feel like every transaction is a shakedown like it sometimes is on ETH when the traffic is high. For the DEXs, they're completely shaking down their customers. I would do as little trading on Cardano as I possibly could. I would only do what I need to do. I actually wouldn't buy any token, any native asset on Cardano unless I was going to do a one-time swap, hold it, expect a huge return, swap it back, and just deal with the crazy fees. The fees are too high. Yeah, gas fees on Ethereum get expensive, but that's because there's tremendous demand for the block space on ETH, and the token reflects that demand at times. On Solana, I could do a transaction for less than a penny. I don't care if some of them fail. I really don't care. I don't want to pay $8 for a $13 swap. In Cosmos, I could do a swap cross-chain faster and cheaper than what I could do on Cardano and ETH, of course, but we're talking about Cardano here. If I go to, let's say, Osmosis, and I want to do a swap and have my tokens end up on a different blockchain, it's even faster than Cardano, which is kind of weird because you would think after all these years, Cardano would be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more user-friendly. The UIs themselves, they look all right? They're minimalist, which I like, but there's not enough information on the website. I should be able to click somewhere and see exactly what I'm doing. Not all apps do this, obviously, outside Cardano, but for new users or returning users, it shouldn't look the same 2 years later, right? There should be improvements. And now let's get to the wallets. There's a stark difference between the two wallets that I tested out today. Eternal Wallet, I would never recommend to anyone. Vesper Wallet looks pretty good. I didn't have any hangups with it, but I didn't do any heavy lifting with it either. But that's what I would totally recommend. You want to go on Cardano, play with Indigo, play with NFTs, do some swaps. Use Vesper first, and then if it doesn't work for you, there are a half a dozen other wallets I would try before Eternal. Now let's get to the tokens that are trapped, locked, unavailable in my wallet. To me, that's just unacceptable. I would never use Solana if they were holding tokens that belong to me inside the wallet or attached to other tokens, whatever the case might be. I would never use that. And I probably won't often go back to Cardano until I could figure out how to unlock my tokens. Like, how do I exit the ecosystem? I can't even sell all my tokens. Can I send them from wallet to wallet if they're locked? Do I have to sell my NFTs first? Do I have to burn them to get those tokens back? If the wallet is going to display this information, they need to have a workaround for it, or at least some information, and that's just not the case.